this as well. She did say that she was going to be retired, but let's just call this a delayed retirement, as she now has found time in her schedule to play.
Well, there you can see the Montecana step back, takes a three-pointer right away. Janice Montecana gets it going from downtown.
She's definitely making her mark on the court right now. She is definitely one to fear for the London Lions.
Well, Janice Montecana, of course, was more of a sixth man last year when she was playing for the Sevenoaks Suns, but right now the London Lions will try to get things going with Hurstler down low. Just great defense there by Julia Koppel.
And I think the London Lions may be taking it a little bit easier. They've had a very busy preseason, playing about 5 games in the last week. So I'm pretty sure they might be a little bit fatigued, but the Sevenoaks Suns are definitely going to be one to put on a show today.
Well, there's the early drive there. Again, you can see Judah Fritz with the offensive rebound. Again, one thing that's going to help Sevenoaks Suns really stay in this game is going off those second chances as Julia Koppel goes to the mid-range now. Kennedy Leonard will try to push this one here in transition.
And we see Bradshaw there taking a drive. She's a key player for the Sevenoaks Suns.
Well, there you can see Chantel Charles trying to dump it down there to Holly Winterburn. Now Winterburn has to kick this one out. There's a three from downtown. The three is good. And already London Lions starting to heat it up from the perimeter.
Right, Kiki is a very, very good player. I don't know if many know, but she graduated from South Carolina and was a first-round pick for the WNBA.
Well, the no-look pass there from, well, she's got to finish that one. Great drive by Renee Bush trying to find Julia Koppel. And Harrigan now will bring the ball up here for the Lions.
And I think that's going to be key for the Sevenoaks Suns. Keep pushing the tempo, keep getting into the bucket and make easy layups. And we see a turnover there, a rare one there by the London Lions.
Well, Harrigan just had a bit of butterfingers there on the pass. But again, I think you're right there. The London Lions are just trying to settle themselves in this game. It's been a long preseason for them, getting the pieces together. Again, a lot of expectations, but already putting some pressure against Renee Bush. It's going to be a baseline ball here to the Suns. Well, tempo is going to be key in this game, of course. The Lions will like to play their traditional style, get out in transition. But again, they can punish teams in the half court. And at the moment, Kiki Harrigan doing some aggressive defense as the Suns now get it in here to Judah Fritz.
And like we mentioned before, the Suns are a little bit low. Excellent drive there by Fritz.
Well, Fritz went in the lane and just kissed that one off the backboard. And the Lions now, again, will try to get things going here with Kennedy Leonard. Leonard here, heavily guarded. Just trying to break this defense down to go to another high-low. That's a decent play there by Holly Winterburn, trying to seal off Renee Bush.
And that's the great thing about Holly Winterburn. She's a big-bodied guard, I should say, because she's able to attack the basket. She can shoot the free and post up like we just saw there.
Well, Leonard will inbound this one now. Well, Hessler trying to go for a backdoor play. Gets a handoff now. Well, give and go, pass it right to Julia Koppel. Well, now the Suns here have numbers in transition. Finds Janice Montecana. Montecana goes up. When she gets fouled, she will go to the free throw line here for 2 shots.
Yeah, and I think it's very important, like you said, Josh, pushing the tempo, running on the London Lions. But the one thing I do fear about is their rotation. How long are they going to keep up this fast-tempoed game?
Well, that's a key thing you talked about there, rotation. You compare both benches. As you mentioned in the interview that we had pre-game here, of course, the Suns are missing some players. And when you look at the depth of the London Lions, it's going to be key to see what is going to be the case here for Coach Len Bush. Is he going to be able to have his players play longer minutes? Janice Montecana might have to play plus 30 here tonight.
Yeah, and I think I would have preferred her to get the and one, but again, she got in there, making her foul shots too. And we've got to mention as well, they are missing Kat Carr, who usually plays 40 minutes a game for them. So I'm intrigued to see who on the team is going to step up.
Well, Hessler tries a three-point, doesn't get it. The rebound secured, and the Suns now can push this one. Again, no quick option here in transition, but Renee Bush now will take on Chantel Charles. Kicks out here to Julia Koppel. Koppel now, another penetration kick out. Just over 10 seconds on the shot clock. They find Fritz. Fritz goes baseline. Fritz now goes in with a Euro-Hungarian step. She gets fouled, and the Hungarian international will go to the free throw line.
And that's what the Sevenoaks Suns are doing really well. They're attacking the basket, trying to make an extra pass. They're making the London Lions have to work hard on defense.
Well, we have a timeout now as Mark Clark is going to talk it over with his players. Kiki Harrigan just having a word there with the official. Maybe the Lions just need to settle themselves into this game, but great start here from the Sevenoaks Suns.
Yep, great start. Way to be aggressive, and they just need to keep up with it.
Well, again, yesterday the London Lions opened their account in which, many looked at the scoreline, and again, I think it's tough to say because it's easy for us to make the X's and O's and sort of the opinions. But again, you've got to applaud the fact this team is built for international basketball. What can we say about their victory last night?
Yeah, and I guess it would have been an easy one for them anyway, because Oakland are pretty much a college team, you would say. They've got a lot of young players, and as we see here on the screen, we've got 8 players that were in double figures. So I think there's a good thing that comes out of it, because the Oakland Wolves, it's a great chance for them to play against really, really good players. So I'm pretty sure they would have taken some stuff out of it. And with the Lions, maybe not so much, but I guess it's a great way for them to just keep their legs going, because they have been playing a lot of preseason games.
I mean, that's unbelievable, right? As you mentioned, a WBBL record, as I said, 8 players in double figures. But look at that stat, right? That's almost 2 years. I mean, it's only a couple hundred days away, I think, or so from 2 years. 514 days. The London Lions have yet to be defeated. At the moment, it's early stages. I mean, never say never, of course. I mean, the Lions could go on a strong run, but if there is a team that probably could end that run, it's got to be the Sevenoaks Suns.
Yeah, and I do think we've got a few teams that have upped their game as well. We've got Leicester, and we have Caledonia as well, who I think are going to be great competitors for the London Lions.
Well, currently the free throw line is Judah Fritz, as we mentioned, the Hungarian international. She was a key player last year for the Sevenoaks Suns. Predominantly a shooter on the perimeter, but one thing she's improved her game at is definitely breaking down defenses and getting into the key. But at the moment, Lions find themselves down by 5 points. Well, Kennedy Leonard now trying to orchestrate the offense here. Charles now looking for Holly Winterburn. Winterburn, a quick catch and shoot for the perimeter. The 3 is up. No good, and Montana secures the rebound.
And one thing the Sevenoaks Suns are doing really well is getting the defensive rebounds. I'm not sure if the London Lions have had an offensive rebound. And we see Janice there taking a 3-point shot. I don't blame her for taking one. She's made one already, so keep shooting.
Well, there you can see looking for the cross-court pass in the corner. The 3 is up. They get an open look, and the 3 is good. And again, it's one thing you cannot afford is to leave these London Lions players wide open. Harrigan knocking down the triple.
Yeah, but I think their defense coverage on the ball screen has been really, really good. But defense always has to let something go, and that 3-point shot in the corner there was something that is tough to defend. Fritz
now coming up to set a screen here. Great defense by Holly Winterburn. The kick out, finding Renee Bush in corner. And the former University of Pennsylvania player sinks it from downtown.
And if I was the London Lions, you need to get up on Renee Bush, because she is an excellent, excellent shooter.
Well, Renee Bush, of course, arriving in the United Kingdom as a elementary school age. And again, somebody call the electricians. The Copperbox lights are being shot out by the London Lions. Holly Winterburn nails it. Well, now Renee Bush coming off once again. She came to the United Kingdom when her father and mother obviously moved to the United States. As Judah Fritz in the lane puts up a little finger roll there. And Judah Fritz kisses that one off the backboard.
Great way to attack the basket. I'm not too sure what the London Lions defense is doing, as there was no help whatsoever there.
Well, smooth little post move there, forcing Herschler into a very tough shot. Great job by Koppel. And now Renee Bush can push this one. We're trying to find Montana, and again, unable. The referee was wide open. I mean, he was wide open. I'm just saying.
Good one, Josh.
Well, it's interesting. A lot of people that may not be aware of the Sevenoaks Suns, but head coach Len Bush moved to the United Kingdom in the summer of 2001, in which all 3 of his daughters were my classmates at the American School of England Tassets, and that's where she excelled her basketball game. She is the leading scorer in high school history of Tassets England, over 2,000 points. GB International at the moment now having to guard Holly Winterburn. Winterburn goes down low, finds Harrigan. Beautiful ball movement, but she missed a wide open look, gets her own rebound. And again, you took that offensive rebounds. I think they heard you.
Yeah, they must have heard me, because Kiki just literally cleaned up after herself. Even though there, I think one she could have made. She's probably not used to missing so many shots inside, so maybe she kind of surprised herself there. But one thing that they did really well yesterday in the Oakland's game was move the ball very well, especially around the perimeter, and then getting the ball inside for easy buckets.
Well, this is going to be interesting now, because now Coach Len Bush has got a choice to make. He has to go to his bench. As you can see, already a few changes. Renee Bush now currently coming onto the bench. But you made a good point as well. Kat Carr not being here this year. She is one of the greatest players in the history of WBBL basketball.
Yep, I don't know if many know, but she, I believe, started her WBBL career in 2014. I could be wrong, could be a little bit earlier or a little bit later, but it was around that time. And she's just excelled. She can play 1 through 5.
Well, many may not know this as well, but Kat Carr was my assistant coach in a tournament in Athens, to which I realized after the second game she should have actually been the head coach. I stepped down because, I mean, as you said, not only can she play every position, but she had a basketball brain. That's why she was 2-time MVP of the WBBL. And again, life without Kat Carr is going to be tough here for the Sevenoaks Suns. Well, Fritz now having to play point guard duty here for the Suns. Trying to get the ball down low here to Janice Montecana. Well, they turn it over now, and the Lions can push this one. Beautiful basketball. Well, that ball did not touch the floor, and a bit of showtime. London Lions, fast break basketball. You got to love that one.
Yes, I sure did. I think the London Lions are excellent. Ooh, and I love that split.
Finding Montecana. Montecana reverse layup, can't get it. It goes out of bounds. It's going to be Sevenoaks ball.
Now, do you think if Janice made that, top 10 play, do you think?
Oh, 100%. But again, what a great transition play after a great defensive stop by the Lions. The ball didn't touch the floor. But again, you see how they split the defense, finding Montecana. Could she have gone up with the right hand? Possibly, but it's Janice. It's Janice.
She always puts on a show for us.
Well, Janice turns the ball over. Well, very interesting. Great defense there by Shanice Beckford-Norton. And again, I think she's been a huge revelation for the London Lions last season in the European campaign.
Yes, she has. She definitely has. Commonwealth silver medalist. We have to say that.
The Lions now going to a dribble handoff offense, trying to cause a lot of problems here for the defense. They get a wide open look. The 3 is up. The 3 is no good, but another offensive rebound goes out of bounds, and that will be, well, no. Well, that's interesting. I felt that came off of, wow,
maybe they're just trying to make up the call for the previous where Shanice knocked the ball out of Janice's hands.
Well, I thought that came off of Millie Watkins' last touch, but
yeah, me too.
Well, close game right now here between these two teams. The Suns find some good looks early on. The question is tempo and how they can get this going longer now. Watkins kicks out to Fritz. Fritz now forces up a mid-range shot, doesn't get it. And now Beckford-Norton can push this one here to Winterburn. Lions now just trying to build up some esteem in their offense. A good ball when it gets to a wide open mid-range, and she sinks that one.
And that was great ball movement. Did you see how fast they was moving the ball, causing Sevenoaks Suns to be pretty much all over the place on defense?
Well, Paulina Herser as well. I love the fact how quickly she got the ball and shot it at such a quick speed. But now, Judah Fritz from, I think it was going to be a 2-point shot. She may have had a foot on the line. The Lions again can push this one. Winterburn stops, thinks about it, takes a 3, doesn't get it. Watkins with a rebound now. It's a 3-on-3 here in transition. Tries to find Judah Fritz under the basket. Fritz fumbles it. Can't get the shot there. That's a good look, but she's got to knock that one down.
Yeah, especially inside the key, wide open. I think that should have been a score right there.
Oh, Winterburn down the middle. Well, Winterburn. Hard foul reach in there by Janice Montecana. I think Renee Bush is going to check back into the game here for the Suns.
And you know what? I would say that's actually a good foul there by Janice Montecana because it gives them time to now take a breath. Now she gets a sub as well. We get the rotation with Renee Bush coming in. So sometimes you just need to stop the play because the London Lions now have that 2-point lead.
Well, 2:55 to go here. As you mentioned, the Lions starting to really settle in. You like the way this team plays. They're able to get out in transition. You know, they don't play that run and gun style of basketball. If they have a quick option, they'll go for it. If not, down to the coach and the mark clock. They really do get into a disciplined half-court set. Yes, and one of their half-court sets being the handoffs. They utilize that every single year, and I have not seen a team yet to stop that. Well, Winterburn now looking to go pick and roll here. Goes to pick and pop now. Goes baseline now. No help. Gets rejected. Oh, they called a foul. Wow. I got to tell you, the block looked clean to me. Me too. I'm not too sure about that call. It was a bailout right there. The only thing I can think on that one is the block does come from behind. Let's have a look at the replay. So she does get beat. But it does look all ball, though. But again, where I can see why the official has made that call is the fact the offensive player has beat the player to the spot. The block does come from behind. That's the only thing I can think about it. Tough life being a referee, I tell you.
Right. Not a job that I would do well at.
But I have so much respect for all the officials, whether it's the FIBA Basketball Champions League, whether it is the BBL, the WBBL, you name it. Their job, they have to make decisions at such a quick pace. And you know what? For 100% of the time, I think they do a great job. I don't think it gets any more accurate than that, of course. But
I definitely would prefer to be in the shoes I'm in right now up here with you, Josh, than down there with them.
Absolutely. Well, they turn it over now. Good defense. And now the Lions can go up by 6 points. You got to lay that one up. Poor passing there from the Sevenoaks Suns.
Yeah, and I think with the London Lions as well, because they're all athletic, I believe every player can pretty much guard through 1 to at least 4 or 5.
Well, Lions doing a great job of putting their hands in the passing lanes now, making everything difficult here for the Suns. Renee Bush now for a Hail Mary 3, takes from downtown. Doesn't get it.
And I think the Suns need to just stay a little bit composed. Go back to what they was doing at the start of the game, driving to the basket to get the good reversal.
Well, there's a dump down there. And again, that's just going to be a mismatch all night long for the Lions in the low block. I mean, they have the size and the physicality. The only way the Suns can defend them at the moment is to commit those fouls. It's near impossible. I mean, unless they go for a double team or... I mean, what would you do in that scenario?
I mean, first of all, the way Tay Battle got position, I think that's the first thing that maybe the Suns need to have a look at. Maybe try to three-quarter front her inside and then maybe force her baseline to cause her to go into the defense.
I mean, as you said, Battle does such a good job of really asserting herself and cementing that position.
Right.
Once she gets it at the low block and you're back down defending, you got to either... Someone's got to come over and double team. As you mentioned, you got to stop her from getting the ball in the first place.
Right.
But now Judah Fritz here. Look to take on Battle. Fritz now hesitation. Down the middle, look for options. Well, Fritz just gets the ball taken away from her. And Battle, well, she wins that one. Lions now looking to push this one here with Harrigan. 7-point lead now. Just under a minute and a half to go here in the first quarter.
And it's not too bad. The Suns aren't doing too bad. They're only down by 7 right now. So if they get a defense to stop here and get a score, they're in a good position.
Well, we got to get a shot off now. A few seconds. Beckford Norton now's got to force something up. She hangs in the air. She takes it. A 24-second violation. Oh, they called a foul, I think. A foul has been called, and Melita, what a terrible foul to give away.
Right, but good job, Shaquila Joseph, going after the boards there, tried to tip it in.
But I think had the foul not been committed, it would have been a 24-second violation.
Do you think, or did Joseph get it up in time?
I think by the time she's gone for the basketball, the shot clock has expired. So again, you made a great point. Great job by Joseph to go in for the second chance. Let's have a look at the replay here. Yeah. That's a 24-second. That's a very poor foul to give away.
Yeah, I definitely think Watkins was that on. I think she should have just left Shaquila there. But lucky for her, she missed the first shot, the first foul shot.
I mean, you talked about composure. This is part of the growth mindset of being a composed basketball team. When it comes to very tough situations where you're in that situation for a few seconds, like you don't want to give the Lions any chance to go to the charity stripe. Well, 8-point lead now, under a minute to go here in the first quarter. Again, Lions putting a lot of pressure. Battle trying to come up with another steal. It will be a sideline ball here to the Suns.
Yeah, I think the Suns are just being a little bit too predictable with their passes.
Well, if you look at the Sevenoaks Suns bench, the assistant coach, well, a legend, one of the also greatest in WBBL history, Tiani, or as most people call her, T-Clock. I mean, when she used to play, it was tea time.
Definitely. She was one that you 100% feared. I know playing against her, I was very fearful of her because not only was she able to walk the walk, she would talk the talk too.
One thing about T-Clock that many WBBL fans remember, she had a jump shot that was just, how can I put this as moderate as professional? It was pretty.
Right, she got up.
Yeah, that jump shot she had. And again, I've seen her, sometimes I see her at the school where she's working, still shooting around. I said, you need to come out of retirement. It's as simple as that.
Well, maybe she might this season.
She might have to, yeah. Well, Julia Koppel now, the Austrian international, at the free throw line here. Well, Julia Koppel, one part of her game that really did improve last year was her shooting from the mid-range. Now, she struggled early on here this evening. It's something that the Suns really need to step up and help their case now.
Get foul shots and layups.
A good ball in here from the Lions. 9-10 on the shot clock now. Well, kicks out to Beckford Norton now. Beckford Norton from downtown doesn't get it. Bush secures a rebound, and now the Suns here. They've got numbers in transition. Looks like she's going to go all the way now. Bit of contact, no foul called.
Now that's tough. That's a tough take. Even though Kennedy Leonard may not seem like she's got many hops, but her arm length, her wingspan is huge, so she's able to take
well,
the layup
three-pointer there
away.
by Joseph, or Shaquille, or Shaq. Shaq Joseph is in the house.
Lining it up.
And again, when you play against a team as good as the London Lions and they start hitting three-pointers in transition, the confidence it does to the Sevenoaks Suns, again, you talk about composure. They need to play through. Now, a foul has been committed. Because I believe the Lions have put Suns in the penalty, it's going to be 2 free throw shots here to the Sevenoaks Suns.
And we've got to commend Bradshaw as well, because she's played this whole quarter right now and she's pushed the tempo. So she's definitely going to be key for the Suns for this whole game.
Well, free throws are going to be key in here. So far, the Suns have gone to the charity stripe a few times this season. I mean, you never want to look back on a game and think the outcome could have been different had you made all your free throws. Well, that is the end of the first quarter. So far, the London Lions with a 10-point leader at home after yesterday's emphatic victory over the Oakland Wolves. But at the moment, Sevenoaks Suns hanging in there. But really, they'll try to regroup here at the end of the first quarter. But so far, good tempo to this game.
Great tempo. Sevenoaks Suns only down by 10 points, so it may be a closer game than what we think it's going to be.
Well, we're going to take a look at some of the stats here from the game so far, but it's been the perimeter shooting that I've been so impressed with so far from the London Lions. You talked about rebounds, of course. I mean, you compare both teams' rebounds. I think, for one thing, the Sevenoaks Suns can really do themselves a lot of favors by trying to get back in this game by going after maybe a few more second chances.
Yeah, and I think they're doing a very good job at cleaning up the defensive rebound. So if they keep that up, keeping the London Lions to only one shot will definitely help them in this game.
Well, there you can see 50% from the charity stripe. Well, we'll take a look at some of the replays now here from the first quarter between the London Lions and the Sevenoaks Suns. Well, if you make all the free throws that you've missed so far, it's only a 6-point ball game. 50% from the free throw line isn't something to panic about. But again, it's as I said, if you look back on the game, you don't want to think it could have been different had you made all your free throws.
Exactly, and Sevenoaks Suns need to remember as well, that's what's keeping them in the game, being aggressive, driving to the basket to make the London Lions commit those fouls to get to the foul line.
You know, I love these two teams a lot because they're so good at getting out in transition. I mean, look, the talent we know is great within the London Lions. The talent is also very great with the Sevenoaks Suns. The difference is the depth of talent in the London Lions is far greater. But again, the one play I love there from the first quarter is how quickly the Lions were able to get the steal and the ball barely touched the floor. You've got to credit the way this team gets out in transition.
Yep, they're pretty much putting on the clinic for us, so it's an exciting one to watch, people.
Well, we have to say hello to all of our viewers online. Of course, I am nowhere near as beautiful as Melita, but you're going to have to deal with that, of course. But look, what can we say to our fans? I mean, you've got to come here to the Copperbox, this amazing arena, and what a great job the London Lions organization has done of putting on a great show here. Again, credit to our Sevenoaks Suns fans as well. What a great team they are.
Yep, 2 London teams, you may as well say. And the turnout is pretty good right here, I would say.
Well, again, if you're Sevenoaks Suns and you're going into a second quarter, you were leading in the early stages of the game, what do you have to do to get back in this game?
You know, I think maybe if I was the coach, I'll mix up the defense a little bit. Maybe put them in a 2-3 situation, but it's going to be tough because the London Lions are very good at shooting from the arc, behind the arc. So maybe mixing it up might throw it off a little bit. Maybe do a run and jump to try and get a quick score.
Well, I tell you, one of the players last season I was really impressed with the Sevenoaks Suns, and I got to say, she's probably my favorite player in the WBBL, Jamila Thompson. I mean, you have a player like Jamila Thompson in your team. You just have a different swagger, a different amount of confidence. You know, some people look at Jamila's game and don't really see the full value of what she brings to a locker room, I think.
Exactly, because she's an energizer. She's able to do pretty much nearly everything on the court, whether it's pass or go up herself.
Well, Leonard now looking to throw this one down here to Harrigan. And then she can make these shots in the mid-range and nothing but net. Cool as you like. Well, you might as well book a table here in the Copperbox because she is cooking it from the kitchen.
Seeing a little bit more pressure here from Leonard.
Well, Suns now very static here on offense. Lions just waiting to put the hands in the passing lane to come up with a steal. Montecana now spinning around. Montecana putting the moves on. Well, that's just Janice doing Janice things on the court.
Did you see the footwork?
Oh, let's have a look at the replay. Well, you know, it's a spelling bee test we used to have last year with the elementary fans in the Sevenoaks Suns Arena. How do you spell Janice Montecana's name? Some games it's just 3 letters. MVP. She's great. She's fantastic because the one thing I like about Janice Montecana's game, it's so diverse. She can shoot from the perimeter. She gets out in transition. She can handle the rock. But also, she can post up.
Right.
And it's not just the sheer power against the basket. As you saw, the pump fakes, the spin outs. She's got a great touch around the basket.
Yep, and she always shows up to big games.
Yeah, that's absolutely true now. Well, Kennedy Leonard now bring the ball up here for the Lions. Coming off a screen with Harrigan. And Leonard now crossing over. Gets a handoff now here. Lions now just trying to break this defense down here. We're under 10 on the shot clock. Harrigan trying to take on Julia Koppel. There comes the double team now. Beckford Norton left wide open. Doesn't get it. Again, Harrigan gets rejected by Koppel. Lions making the most of their size and physicality. Coming up with the second chances. The offensive rebounds punishing the Suns. Good ball movement in the lane. Off the backboard. And the bank is open here on Sunday in Stratford, East London.
And I think that's where the preseason games has really helped the London Lions because the connection there between Joseph and Battle there was amazing.
Well, once the double team came over from Judah Fritz, I mean, she had to make that choice right there because they need that help side defense in the post. Ball gets kicked out, reversal. At that point, the defense has to scramble. And I got to tell you, Sevenoaks Suns are one of the best teams in the WBBL being able to recover. But again, when you're playing against the London Lions, it just has to be even better at this point. We'll find Julia Koppel now. Koppel looking for a handoff here, faking it, almost turns it over. She does just that. The Lions now, another transition. Shaq Joseph now. Shaq a bit of contact, and Shaquila Joseph.
She is showing up today.
Well, she's just making it look easy.
And now she has 6 points. She's doing really well this game.
Well, credit again to how the London Lions defensively come up with all these, forcing the Suns into turnovers, but again, how quickly they're able to turn them into transition points.
Yep, I think Sevenoaks Suns turnovers are going to be key for them.
Bradshaw now finding Fritz. Fritz with a pump fake. Finds a dump down to Koppel. Koppel goes in with a very, very tough circle shot. But good defense by Beckford Norton.
Exactly. Even though she might be a small player, she can jump super, super high. I don't know if many knows, but she used to play volleyball, so that definitely does help on the basketball court.
But no, I did not know that.
Yeah, that's why she jumped so high.
I tell you what, that is.
And we see her, Kiki, just getting into the lane. And I think that's what the Suns need to focus on.
I believe Matthew Bryan Manning has entered the Copperbox.
Hello, big time.
Yeah, thank you for sending me a text message that you were coming. Yeah. Matthew Bryan Manning, a huge advocate for British basketball, goes to a lot of games across the country. Montecana comes up with a steal. Bradshaw now finding Renee Bush. She needs to make this one here. Still can't get the drop. Fritz with the offensive rebound. And the Suns here getting good looks at the moment. Just trying to break down this defense. Bradshaw, and the foul has been drawn there against Shaquila Joseph. Again, you got to credit. The Suns are getting good looks. They're getting wide open shots. They're just not dropping at the moment.
Yep, and I see here on the replay, Bradshaw is super quick. You see the way she gets Shaquila Joseph off balance and to commit the foul.
Well, sideline ball here to the Lions. 7:15 to go in the second quarter. Montecana now looking to take on Shaquila Joseph. Good kick out, finds Renee Bush. Well, Bradshaw left wide up. 4 seconds here. She's got to get something going. Montecana now from downtown. She'll take it. Doesn't get it. Good defense by the Lions.
Koppel almost got the steal there.
Well, Julia Koppel just gets called for a blocking foul there. But again, you got to love the sportsmanship there. I mean, she's committed a bit of I'd say a reckless foul. It is. I mean, I tell you what, some places you can get upgraded to an unsportsmanlike. But again, what I love about Judah Fritz, she does go over to say, hey, sorry, that was a mistake.
And we've been seeing that a lot more this season. The unsportsmanlike fouls are being called a lot more by the referees.
Well, Winterberg now put the moves here. Finding Joseph. Joseph in the lane, and she is having a buffet right now.
She had two options there. She had Hurstler and Joseph wide open inside the key.
Well, Holly Winterburn now renowned for her ability to score the basketball, and at the moment becoming an excellent facilitator here. Well, the foul has been committed on the ground. Great job there by Bradshaw. But again, going back to Holly Winterburn, how impressive is it that this team shares the basketball? 10 assists so far collectively for the London Lions.
Yeah, it's amazing. And Kennedy Leonard yesterday had 11 assists of her own.
Well, Beckford Norton now is going to come back into the game here for Harrigan. So it looks like that was a big lineup they had out there with Joseph, Harrigan.
Yeah, and I think this is where the Suns missed Jamila Thompson, because she could have been a huge help for the Sevenoaks Suns.
I think when the Suns get all their players in, they're going to be probably just as good as last year, maybe even better.
That's true.
So again, they've got to take as many little positives out of this game as much as possible. Now, a 24-second violation has been called, but, I've seen this team for many years. They'll be disappointed however this game ends up for them, but they'll look back at little things and say, look, this is where we need to improve. Because it's still early days of the WBBL.
Exactly. It's not how you start the season, it's how you finish. So I'm pretty sure when they come up against the Lions, it's going to be a different story.
And that's also a testament to Len Bush, because, not only does he have great players around him, but they're also helping him out within the coach and how they want to sort of improve themselves and move the club forward. But now, Winterburn here trying to put the moves on a spin out, going all the way. Winterburn wraps around with a finger roll, but it comes out of the basket, and Koppel throws it right away.
And I think that's where you need to pass it to your point guard and make the point guard make those types of decisions.
Well, Hurstler sealed off against Bradshaw. She missed a wide open look.
Now, she must be frustrated about that one with Renee Bush coming down for a short jumper, and it's good.
Well, that would do Renee Bush's confidence a lot of good there. She pulls up for the mid-range in transition, cutting it down to a 14-point ball game. Lions now with all the pressure going forward.
Now, I'm loving this battle inside. Couple against Hurstler there. Did you see that with the post-ups?
Well, Hurstler now, you talked about outside. Sorry, you talked about the post. She went outside, but again, Koppel allowing her to take that shot.
Now let's talk a little bit about Hurstler, because we haven't really spoken much about her. She is Swedish and played in the Irish League last year, averaging 16.6 games. 6 points per game, and also played in the Euro Cup.
Well, Bradshaw goes in and gets the and one. Wow, the circus shot came up. Again, I want to see the replay of that. Bradshaw, that's going to be a top 5 play of the week in the WBBL on social media. Please show us the replay. This is something out of nothing.
Right, look at the size up.
Take it, Hurstler, the school there. Class is Basketball 101. Your instructor, Bradshaw, and Mark Clark calls timeout.
And just going back on that play, one thing I love is that one-step scoop shot. Anyone watching, that is probably one of the toughest layups to make, and beautiful to watch.
Well, it's a nice play there, of course, but again, it's just ways here to try and get themselves back in the game. I mean, one thing that the London Lions have to do, they have to make sure that no matter how much pressure they keep going forward, they do not take the foot off the pedal, because Sevenoaks Suns, they're right up there with them in the WBBL. I mean, this is the team that had to overcome the Nottingham Wildcats. And all of a sudden, the Lions, when they got stronger, they almost dethroned the Sevenoaks Suns as the queens of the WBBL. Again, you don't want to take your foot off the pedal.
Yeah, exactly. And we see the assist count there. The London Lions had 10. See here, we've got the game leaders, Harrigan on 10 points. And for the Sevenoaks Suns, we have Monacana with 7 points. And I think if we go to the stats here from the three-point line, Sevenoaks Suns are only 2 for 7 from the three-point line. So I'm pretty sure if they got their confidence up a little bit more on the three-point line, they'll get them right back into this game. You have to admit they're excellent shooters, Sevenoaks Suns are. So.
Well, that's one thing they were renowned for in the last few seasons. I mean, that's what I like. I mean, Sevenoaks Suns, very much, these two teams can play very similar styles. We talked about the Lions being able to get out in transition, get quick looks, whether it's from the perimeter, but also slow it down. The Suns do the exact same thing. And again, without some of their best players, I would say being down by 12 points isn't such a bad thing, of course.
Me neither.
Well, the Suns, of course, being run by Len Bush and the Bush family. Shout out to Mae Bush, a fantastic family, of course, who have done wonders for basketball in Sevenoaks and in Surrey. Currently now Bradshaw at the free throw line here to try and make the three-point play.
And it's good.
Kennedy let it out. Guarded here by Bradshaw. Just under 5 minutes to go in the second quarter. Lions holding on to 11-point leads. Beckford Norton pulls up in the mid-range. Doesn't get it. But wow. Great offensive rebound. But again, you can argue with the call all you want. But the fact is, you got to box out.
Exactly. I was just about to say that. Box out first, then go for the board. And we see Paige Robinson checking in to the game here. She's had an amazing summer. I know through social media she's been having a lot of training session with Gary Maitland, so I'm intrigued to see how she comes into this game. And Kennedy Leonard takes a seat there.
Well, Shaquila Joseph now currently at the... Oh, excuse me. My apologies. Battle at the free throw line here. So far, a good game for you. You know, what I like about her on defense is pretty much how composed she is. She doesn't overcommit herself. She plays to almost get the offensive play to turn the ball over rather than go for the steal.
Right.
But again, what a presence she has in
Solid
the low block
player
here for the Lions.
Very solid.
Well, looks like Chantrell Charles is also going to come back in the game here for the Pride. Well, Renee Bush now got it by Beckford Norton. Fritz now trying to find Koppel. Koppel catching it in a double team. Finding Montecana now. Great defense here from the Lions. Montecana hanging in the air. No foul called. Fritz with a rebound. Now, I think there was a problem there. They reset the shot clock, which they shouldn't have done. So the 24-second violation has been called. Good defense from the Lions.
We'll see here on the replay. I think Holly's hands came down just there. So maybe that could have been an argument there with the foul call.
I think you're right there, but I think also the fact is that Holly Winsberg did have good defensive position.
Yeah.
So I think at some point, as you said, decisions have to be made. And I think the defender had the advantage in that case as Winterburn tries a three-pointer. And now Fritz with a rebound.
And that's a tough shot too, a step back three.
We'll find a Koppel now. Koppel going all the way now with the fang roll. Kisses that one.
No, I like that one. I like that one. That little step back hesitation.
Well, I was about to criticize it for that because I thought you get the ball in the post back down, but again, it worked to her advantage. Great defense by Montecana, and now Suns can push this one. Bradshaw down the middle now. She's looking for options here. She's going to try and slow this one down now with a pick and roll. Fritz now here with the ball in her hands. Heavily guarded by Holly Winterburn. Kicks out the Koppel. A few seconds now here on the shot clock. And another turnover. A great pass here by Chantrell Charles. And a layup there. And all the moment, it's all London Lions.
And that's tough, and that's the problem. Anytime you turn over the ball, the London Lions are going to be right back at you with the fast break, with Chantel with the excellent half-court pass.
Well, both these teams love to play up-tempo. They love to get the ball out in transition. But again, you got to credit the fact that it's almost like with these players, especially in this game with the London Lions, I've got a shot, but I know she's got a better one. That's what I feel like when I'm watching them. Yeah,
exactly, and that's why it just goes to show how effective team basketball can be. The London Lions sharing the ball with... We still got Harrington there with 10 points. Kennedy Leonard with 4 assists. Battles with 3 steals right there. And that just goes to show team basketball. We've got 4 different players on the stat sheet there. And I think maybe the Suns can kind of learn a little bit from them too, because you see in their offense, they're a little bit stagnant. The ball just stayed in one side of the floor. So maybe trying to get the ball reversal would help them to get a wide open attack on the other side. But with the London Lions and their excellent defense, it's pretty hard to do that.
Well, they can see Montecana. She's 6 rebounds and 3 points away from a double-double. Fritz with the 1 assist. Yeah, go back to the Lions, of course. Kiki Harrigan is 5 rebounds away already from a double-double, and it's not even halftime yet. I mean, that's an impressive stat line.
Well, hey, 6th pick in the WNBA. And it's great for this league as well to have such incredible players who've made an impact around the world come into the WBBL, and definitely think this is what the league needs.
Well, as you said, again, we are attracting WNBA talent to come here to the WBBL. I mean, who wouldn't want to come to Great Britain and play in this league and to be in this country, of course? But again, what's even more impressive is the fact that now we got teams competing in Europe, of course. Lions, again, are going to have a big European campaign.
Yeah.
One day I'd like to see Sevenoaks Suns as well in Europe, because I think they have the personnel, maybe 1 or 2 players away from getting to that level.
Yeah, I agree.
Well, Winterburn now kicking this one out. Tries a 3 is up, a little bit short, doesn't get it. Another offensive rebound here to the Lions. Will make some penetration now, finds Chantrell Charles.
Let's talk about Chantrell Charles. I think she's amazing, a great role player. She does the little things, she gets the balls, makes excellent passes. And we see Bradshaw there on the floor again.
Well, if we're going to talk about Chantrell Charles, can we also talk about Desmond as well?
Is he here today?
Oh, he's here. He's the MVP, the most valuable person, greatest basketball fan on the planet. He's here. He is here. I just saw him earlier. So for those who may not be aware, Desmond is the father and one of the best advocates of British basketball, especially for the WBBL. Desmond is in the crowd. And Bradshaw now currently at the free throw line here for the Sevenoaks Suns. Well, going back to that foul there, again, I think what you probably saw there was that Holly Winterburn tried to take a charge but didn't get the right positioning on it. Again, with a 13-point lead at the moment, or 12-point lead after making that free throw. Again, I still think for the Lions, probably they want to be up by at least 20 points going into the halftime interval.
Yeah, I agree, because it gives Sevenoaks Suns that confidence to say, hey, you guys might be in the Euro Cup, but look at us, we're one to fear too.
Well, Winterburn now looking for the penetration. Kicks out here again. Battle with the mid-range. Hits the back iron. Doesn't get it. And the rebound now secured by Judah Fritz. 12-point deficit here. Suns, they can get it within single digits going into the halftime. Something to give them some confidence for the second half. Penetration by Bradshaw. No foul called. Offensive rebound by Fritz. He's got to go up with it. It goes off the backboard. And it's all of a sudden a 10-point ball game.
And Bradshaw there with that drive, I love it. Even though I do think she can make her layups, that was an excellent drive, because then it gives her teammates the chance to get the offensive rebound like Fritz did just there.
Well, Renee Bush now matching up here with Holly Winterburn. Tries to pass the battle under the basket. Battle goes in with a circus shot, doesn't get it. But she will go to the free throw line for 2 shots. I got a question for you. The fact that London are such a strong team in and around the basket. We know they're a great perimeter shooting team, and probably one of the reasons Coach Len Bush doesn't want to go to his zone defense. But could his zone defense help the Sevenoaks Suns in the front court?
Well, it's early days, so put it out there just to see how the London Lions react to it. If it doesn't work, you can always come out of it. And you also got the 2-3, you got the 3-2 to maybe cover the perimeter. Having problems saying that word there. Let's go with around the arc then.
Don't worry, you're much better than me.
But then the problem with that, the inside is open because you only have 2 players to guard inside the key.
Well, again, as we mentioned with this team being in Europe, the depth they have, players can play a certain amount of minutes, and the rotation for the Lions is much larger than it is for the Suns.
And I think maybe that's why the zone would help the Suns too, because it gives players a chance to rest a little bit.
Well, Watkins has to force up something at the end of the shot clock, doesn't get it. And just under a minute and a half to go here in the first half. Lions leading by just the 11 points at the moment.
And did you know Bradshaw and Kiki Harrigan were former teammates? And you see there with the and one play.
Well, same story again, of course. An offensive rebound by Harrigan. Suns failing to box out. Actually, I did not know that.
Yeah, they both played for South Carolina freshman year.
You are a basketball thesaurus, I tell you.
I didn't think I was. I'm surprised with myself here.
Fountain of basketball knowledge.
I love the game too much. You see Leonard clocking back in. And Hurstler.
Well, I like Harrigan's game, of course. I mean, stepping into this team is always a lot of expectation, a lot of responsibility that falls on each player, because it's not like you just join in the best. You got to come in and be the best of the best.
Right.
When you go into Europe, at some point it's going to be your moment to be called upon.
Exactly. And it's just like, how do you guard her? She can attack the basket, she can shoot the free, she can seal great inside, and she's a blocking machine.
Well, Bradshaw now looking for the screen, but passes up to Judah Fritz. 14-point lead to the Lions. Finding Koppel here. 5 on the shot clock. Well, Bradshaw goes back door. Got to get something going. Puts up a little floater. Doesn't get it. And the Lions now look to play. Again, I was going to say that Julie Koppel's a great player, but is she the player you want with the ball in her hands with 5 seconds on the shot clock?
That's exactly what I was thinking. But maybe they just need to be a little bit more aware of the time.
Winterburn now goes baseline. Kicks out to Charles. Charles takes a 3. 3 is up. The 3 is good. Well, Chef Charles cooking it from the perimeter. I know Desmond liked that one.
I was just trying to see if I could see him in the crowd there. He probably had his hands up for that one.
Well, again, tough shot there. 10 seconds left in the game. Renee Bush went for the three-pointer, and now the Lions get another chance here. Kennedy Leonard kicks out to Winterburn. Winterburn now back to Leonard. Three is up in the corner, and again, decision doesn't pay off there for the Suns. I got to tell you, Melita, that is why you run the clock down for the last shot.
Exactly. That must be a huge dagger in the heart there for the Suns. But excellent play there for the London Lions. Way to share the ball, Holly Winterburn, who passed it to Leonard in the corner for the wide open three.
But also, you know, Renee Bush is one of the best players in the WBBL. Somebody on her team has got to communicate with her. Last shot, last shot. You could see it coming. We'll take a look at some of the stats right now here from the first half, ladies and gentlemen. Well, again, you look at the free throws, of course. London Lions 10 for 13, but the perimeter shooting 38%. Not bad for their standards.
Rebounds there. I'm pretty impressed by the Sevenoaks Suns, who've got 20 rebounds, but the London Lions just being super aggressive there with 23 rebounds. Well,
there you can see Harrigan, top scorer in the game. She's 5 rebounds away from a double-double. One of the key stats that we recently saw, 13 assists collectively for the Lions. Only 3 at the moment here for the Suns. But again, we can critique this all we want. The fact is the Suns are still without some of their key players. This is going to be a tough game for them, but they're going to have to take as many positives as much as possible. Let's take a look at the replays now here from the first half.
We see here Rennie Bush for the pull-up, and that's an easy shot there. One where she didn't have to rush. We got coupled with the drive there, and I think that's going to be huge for her. Anytime she catches the ball inside the key, that one dribble layup is really effective. And I want to see Rennie Bush getting way more open looks at behind the arc.
Well, again, you just love the way this team moves off the ball. It's, you know, if you're playing for the London Lions and the ball isn't in your hand, you got to find those positions. If you're in a good position, shoot the ball, you stay there. If you don't get a good position, you find a new one. This team is very well trained, of course. Well, there you can see Harrigan in the corner. I mean, she's impressed you very much, right?
She has, and even though we're watching this on tape right now, live, people, it's even better. So I would say come down, watch them play live, because they are definitely putting on a show.
Well, there is the last three-pointer from Renee Bush, of course. Again, she's going to have to really step up in the second half. Then you got to love the play of Kennedy Leonard and Holly Winterburn.
Now, Josh, 20 points down. What do you suggest?
Well, hello, everybody, to all of our YouTube viewers. Myself, Josh Bett, and you know her as the great Melita. Well, again, your last question to me, you know, can the Sevenoaks Suns come back? Never say never here, but again, when you're without some of your top players coming in, I would say you've got to take little positives to try and get back in this game.
Right, just do the little things, the easy things, to chip away at that score, to try and get back into the game. And I think Monacana, she needs to be just as aggressive as she has been in the first quarter as well, because she's going to be very, very key. Even though she says she's retired, well, I don't think she's nowhere near ready to retire, because she's been so effective in this game today.
That's just Janice doing Janice things, of course. She's just so humble, so empathetic, but, you know, she just dominates on the basketball court. Again, basketball fans, watching this game on the YouTube stream, let us know where you're watching. We'll give you a shout-out. I know we got fans watching currently in Spain and the Philippines, because I've sent the links to some friends out there, but let us know where you are watching. But currently now we're one of the greatest players in the history of WBBL basketball, Melita. She is the brains, the expert on everything that's going on the court, of course. But, you know, I got to tell you, there is Stem out there courtside, just giving him away. But, you know, the London Lions, as great as they are, they have got to prepare for a big European campaign, because their success in Europe, I find, is going to be instrumental for British basketball as a whole.
Exactly, and last season they did very well as well in the Euro Cup. So I'm excited. I'm excited over than anything to see how well they do in this Euro Cup season, because I think they're going to be one to watch out. They're going to be very competitive in that league.
I mean, some great players who we mentioned, Shanice Beckford-Norton, not to mention Chantal Charles, not to mention Kennedy Leonard. I mean, these are some key players. But, you know, what I think is very impressive is the fact that some of the key players on this team are some of the best British basketball players as well. I mean, that is a huge testament because you don't find that in a lot of countries. A lot of times it's a mix of international teams. For us, that is a huge thing. What about the coach, Mark Clark?
Mark Clark, what can you say? One of a kind. He coached me at junior levels as well, and his IQ is where I get my IQ from, because he is a great, may as well call him a professor, really, at the game, because
he still won't smile, but
his knowledge of the game and the way he communicates with his players as well. You know exactly what Mark Clark wants on the court. So as a player, from my experience anyway, one of the best coaches we have.
Well, we've got to give a shout out to Tony Lazar. Thank you for watching, Tony Lazar. I think I've said your name right, or Lazare. I do apologize if I get it wrong. Please let me know. Let's talk about the Sevenoaks Suns, because, Len Bush has done a great job over the last decade or so of creating strong basketball foundations, originally in Kent, but then moving over to Surrey. We talked about not having Kat Carr. She is one of the greatest players like yourself in the history of WBBL basketball. Tanya Clark is now his assistant coach. I think it's very hard for us to judge Sevenoaks on this game because they are without some players. Yeah. In my mind, whether they win or lose this game, they've got to take little bits of inspiration when the whole team does come in, so they can prepare for the season.
And it's a good learning curve for them as well. First game of the season, playing against the previous champions of the WBBL last season. So it's definitely one they can look back at, see this is where we're at. With our new Americans coming in, this is what we can be. So the next time they come up against the London Lions, I think they're going to be better. And you never know as well, with the London Lions, they have a busy schedule, so they might be fatigued in the next game, and it's definitely something that the Sevenoaks Suns can almost just pick upon, because they should be in shape, ready to take that dub.
Absolutely. A lot of people have said over the years that, maybe the dominance of London Lions, there's pros and cons. Let's put it into perspective here. It wasn't a case of let's just chuck all the resources and put something together. The foundations started off as the BA London Lions, of course, in Barking Abbey. Then they worked through the Medway Park. The foundations were always there. The case, it was just letting it grow even further, of course. And what I want to see over the future in the WBBL especially is more put into some of these teams. I mean, you've got some great teams here in the WBBL. The Nottingham Wildcats, Leicester Riders, of course, Newcastle Eagles. Foundations are strong there as well. I think if the same amount is put into those teams, you're going to see a very competitive league.
Yeah, exactly. And not to forget, we've got the Caledonian new team coming in with the new coach. You've got a new system in there. I wish I had more stats for you guys, but they are definitely going to be one to watch. They've got Chantal Handy, GB, professional, amazing player, my former teammate. She's also in the WBBL as well, so they're going to be pretty exciting, and I think they're going to be one to also, for the London Lions to watch out for.
Absolutely. The thing about the London Lions, they're going to play more games than any other team in the WBBL.
Yeah.
You got the Cup, you got the Trophy, you got the League, then you got the upcoming playoffs will be later in the year. This team, depending how good they are in Europe, at some point during the season, they're going to have to make changes to the roster. If you're not used to watching high-level basketball, you and I, we watch basketball, men and women's, all over Europe. We're always talking about the different levels. Io as well, our friend, the basketball consumption machine. The greater your team is, some games throughout the season, you have to rest players.
Yeah.
You have to, because they might go play an away game in the European competition they're in this year, and they might be down a few players down to injury. And that may be a good case in some of the teams they play against. They won't be playing against stronger teams, but we will see. But Melita, I got to tell you, right now, I'm predicting the Lions will win this game, but what I want to see from the Sevenoaks Suns, and I know they'll do this, they'll compete right to the end. They'll take those little victories in the game, and they'll put a line under it and improve as the season goes on.
Yeah, and just to mention there as well, they're going to have to rest players. Holly Winterbird did not play yesterday, so they're already resting players to make sure that everyone is fit and healthy for the remaining of the season.
Absolutely. Of course, yesterday's game was it was an emphatic victory for the Lions. For me, I don't see any negatives in that. I just see that one team is trying to aspire to push the sport even further here in the UK. They're trying to put a team into Europe, and again, it's going to lead into the national team. If I'm correct, GB Women's, top 20 ranked, I think, in the FIBA World Rank. I could be wrong on that, but I think at one point it was. Again, it's only going to be better for British basketball. Hopefully, more and more teams get the same and start to produce the same level of talent as going forward. Well, the Lions players are just coming back out right now. A bit of a short talk, but what do you think Mark Clark was saying to his players in the changing room? I mean, they're up by 20 points, excuse me. Casual, is there anything for him to really be concerned about?
I think the one thing they could improve on is their on-ball defense. I think Sevenoaks Suns have gotten to the basket far too many times. Unfortunately, they're not finishing everything, but I do think on-ball pressure could be a little bit of an improvement for the London Lions coming in. And probably just to commend them as well, to say, hey, good job at pushing the tempo. Good job at keeping the ball off the court when they're going into the fast breaks. And just keep at that. Keep things simple.
Well, I got to tell you as well, you know, the thing that I like about the Rough is they got the dribble handoff offense, they got a good perimeter game, but they've also got a very strong presence with inside the low block. My concern right now coming into the second half, as I mentioned, you don't want to take your foot off the pedal against the Sevenoaks Suns, but I almost feel at times London Lions get a little bit too unselfish. Remember what I said? It's that I've got a good shot, but you've got a better shot. Yeah. And I think for the Lions, you just have to dominate from start to finish, because the Suns, you give them an inch of space, they will come back at you.
Yeah, and looking at last season as well, the London Lions always made their mark in the third quarter. Sometimes they'll be up by 10, 20, but then after that third quarter, they're up by almost 40 points. So I think they're going to come out this half and fully put their foot on the ground and say, hey, this is us. I know we kind of let you in a little bit in the first half, but you're not keeping up with us in the second half.
We're going to link you to a stream video that we'll show you for our advertisement. But ladies and gentlemen, the second half will begin in 4 minutes. So go get a drink, go get something to eat, but don't go anywhere too long. We're live here at the Copperbox, the WBBL fixture between London Lions and Sevenoaks Suns. Cool.
For too long, the old guard has held court. Their rules, their terms, their arena. But what happens when you take something from the streets, of the streets, and put it on display for the world to see? The tide starts to shift. The energy feels different. The people take notice. It's art in its rawest form. Staccato, free-flowing, oh so pretty, and downright ugly. It doesn't just represent the people, it flows through them. It lets the old guard know exactly who's next, and resets the stage for something new. This is street